We are a child down. A child has left us and we're going to talk about it. Hello, welcome. My name is Sarah. If you are new around here, I am a foster carer in the UK, a short-term foster carer. And for the past 18 months or so, I have had two young children from different families living with me. And if you saw my last video, I talked about how we were preparing for one of the children to leave. That child has now left and I've just got one child with me now. I'm filming in my car because I've just actually taken the other child somewhere, and I was gonna go and like walk. It's a lovely sunny day and I was gonna walk around or like sit down outside and film this, but then I figured there's a high chance that I'm probably gonna cry, so I'm just gonna sit in my car and do it. Yeah, so that's what's happening. So as a short-term foster carer, obviously these children that come and live in my home and I welcome them into our family, they don't stay with me forever. They do eventually move on, and it could be that they're with me for a very short amount of time, a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or a reasonably long time. And sort of 18 months that this child was with me, I think is classed as a pretty long time for a short-term foster carer to have a child with them. That's my understanding anyway. And when the decisions were finally made for them, for what was happening, it's always emotional, and there's always lots of different emotions going on because you're sort of really happy for them that they get to, I've talked about it before, that I view their time with me as like a little bit of limbo time. Obviously I try to make it as wonderful as possible and fill their lives with fun and love and all of that good stuff, but it is kind of limbo time. That's how I view it anyway. And there's obviously that deep sadness that they're going to be moving on, but so much happiness and joy for them, for the child, that they're going to be, you know, going to where they're gonna like live out their childhood. And we have been very busy over the past sort of 2 weeks or so going through the bridging process. I'm working on a couple of videos actually. I've done the bridging process for pretty much maybe all eventualities as a short-term foster carer. So like that they go to a long-term foster carer, that they are adopted, that they go back home to a family member. I've kind of done all of them now, more or less. And so I'm working on some videos talking about the differences between the processes from a foster carer's perspective, but that'll be probably quite a while in the future. But yeah, for now, obviously we have been quite busy bridging the child. It's really important that all the adults involved in the process of bridging them, wherever they go, have an understanding of what is going on with the child and making it as good for the child as it can be. I am just so overwhelmingly happy for this child. I can't even put it into words how happy I am that sort of how things have transpired, and yeah, I'm just so happy for them. And I think, to be honest, that is my overriding feeling. Of course, 100% there has been tears. I think you're not human if you don't have sadness sort of for yourself and for the loss, because there is a sense of grief surrounding it, that this little person that has been, I'm gonna get emotional here, but this little person that has been in my life every single day and my family's life every single day, that, you know, my son Stephen has created bonds with, they've been here every single day, every morning, every night for 18 months, and they've come sort of like as this helpless little being and have grown into this like little person with their little personality, and I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss that. Of course I am. But I'm just so happy for them, and they're what's important in all of this. Why I do what I do. It's about the children. I'm just so pleased for them. I really am. I will be fine. I know I will be fine. It is just, you just have to go through like this little grief process of loss. That, like, this morning was the first morning that because they left yesterday, the first morning that they weren't, obviously, like, I didn't get them up out of bed, they weren't in their bedroom, and I'd got the other one up out of bed, and I walked past their bedroom, and it was just like a glance in, it was like, oh, they're not there. What I tend to do when a child leaves, I mean, I've had maybe about eight children now come and go. When they leave, I tend to be quite like, let's get organised and sorted, and let's like clear their room out and tidy up and clean carpets and do those types of things. I think maybe that's sort of my way of coping with it, possibly. I don't know, but that's my plan. Yesterday, after they'd gone, I went up to the other child's bedroom, and that room had got, because throughout the bridging process, I kind of just thought, this is going to be a lot, and I'm just going to not bother about like tidying the house particularly, or doing the washing, and just like keeping on top of like the daily household like chores that you have to do. I'd kind of just decided I'm not going to bother, because you go in here, there and everywhere, and there's just lots of emotions going on. So I just kind of didn't really do anything for a week or so. And so the other child's bedroom had just gotten quite a mess. And so yesterday, after the child left, we went up there and we just sorted all of their wardrobe and their clothes with things that don't fit them anymore, and sorted through their toys, and just like tidied up and scrubbed the skirting boards and just stuff. But yeah, we did that yesterday. I think that just helps me. I think it's just something, you know, everyone's different. That's what I sort of like to do when a child leaves. As foster carers, we obviously deal with a child leaving and deal with the grief surrounding that in our own individual personal ways. I mean, if the child has gone somewhere that you don't agree with, if the decision wasn't sort of the one that you wanted, not that it's anything kind of to do with us as foster carers, but if it was, you don't really agree with it, then that's a whole load of other emotions and things to deal with. But, you know, if you do think that, you know, this child is going to be really happy where they go, I mean, that's what we want, isn't it? That's the feeling we want to be left with as a foster carer, that this was the right decision for the child, and that they're gonna carry on to have this wonderful life full of love and everything that we all deserve as children and adults. I think it's important when a child leaves to just do whatever feels right for you personally as a foster carer. I know that, like, I am not someone who gets massively into deep sadness. I see a lot of foster carers talk about how they really feel this deep sense of grief, and I'm just not that person. I am emotional as I talk about it. You know, I'm gonna well up a little bit with tears. Personally, I always have the thought process that I've gone into this knowing what the situation is. I'm an adult who understands that I'm a short-term foster carer. This child is with me for a short time, or in this case a reasonably quite a long time. I feel like 18 months is quite a long time, but it is temporary and they will be moving on. I know that, and I can deal with my emotions surrounding that. The child, to be honest, didn't have a clue that they were with me for a short amount of time and then they were moving on. As far as they were concerned, this was just their life. And if I can take any of that sort of grief and crappy emotions for the child, so the child doesn't have to feel those things, I'm good with that. And I know I can cope with that. And absolutely, has that child taken a piece of my heart with them? 100%. Every single child that I have loved and cared for and had in my home, when they leave, they all take a piece of my heart with them. But that's okay. And and they needed that to get them through a difficult time in their young lives. And oh, let me grab a tissue. I'm okay with giving little pieces of my heart to these children because they really needed it. But anyway, okay, so what now for me? I've still got one child with me, so I'm still fostering at the moment. I think possibly they may leave in 2 months or so if things go how I think they're gonna go, but nothing ever does, to be honest. But yeah, they'll possibly be gone in around 2 months or so, and I'm thinking it's kind of not really worked how I wanted it to work. I've talked about them getting the house done, some big renovations. I wanted it to be all sort of ready to go right as soon as the children go. I'm going to take a little break from fostering and start work on the house, because the house probably won't be appropriate to have children in. Maybe, I don't really know, but to be honest, like already, like the child has been gone for like literally like 24 hours, just 24 hours, exactly 24 hours, and already I'm like, I'm ready to get more children. And I don't think I am, realistically. I need time just to relax a little bit and process things. Normally I would like, obviously I've still got the other child, but I would like to go on like a holiday once I'm free of children, but who knows where that whole thing is with travel. I'm not even thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to speak to my supervisor and social worker about it all, possibly see about respite like in a few weeks time or something, but probably that might not be appropriate with the other child. I don't know is the answer, I guess. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess in the very short term, I'm just gonna continue on with one child. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't think I've ever really had just one child. I've always had like multiple children from multiple families. I like to keep myself busy. But yeah, at least for now, there's just one child from one family that I'm just gonna continue to care for and focus on, I guess. And we'll see what the situation is with the house. I always think this is probably the danger of how I think, that when I'm in it, if you've been watching my fostering videos, you'll know that I've had quite a few really stressful times over the last, with these two children, over the last sort of year or so, and times where I've just thought, I just can't do this anymore. But I know I can. It's just, you know, when you're just feeling overwhelmed by things. And I was like, absolutely, I need a good break when these children leave. But like I said, like now, I'm ready to like jump back in. But I think that probably isn't true. I don't think I am ready to jump back in and have more children. Even if like the house wasn't happening, the renovations on the house weren't happening, I do think like I do need to just take a breath and focus on doing some me things that I can't do when the children are here. Obviously it's busy when I've got young children and it is just me. You know, I've got Stephen there, my son, who's wonderful at looking after them and helping out. Lara's sort of been there full time, my sister, since COVID. She's not been down in London really, so I have got like some support there, but I don't really focus on me a lot, and I think that I probably need to do that for a little while, and that will be really good for me. Money will be an issue if I don't take on children. Of course, money will be an issue. If you are a foster carer who is, you know, maybe coming up to doing some bridging with a child, or a child has just left and it's something you're struggling with, do remember that you can always reach out to me. Quite a lot of you do over on Instagram. You DM me and we sort of have little chats about things, and it's always nice to support each other because it's difficult, and it is something that really, like, if you haven't done it, you just, I mean, with everything in life I guess, but if you've not been a foster carer and looked after these children, you kind of just can't, you just don't understand it. Anyway, if you do want to reach out, you can always do that over on Insta. You can just DM me. It's linked down below in the description, as are a few different ways that you can support the channel by using my Amazon affiliate link or by using Patreon or PayPal me. Thank you to everyone who has already supported me in those different ways. It means a hell of a lot to me. But I'm gonna go because it's absolutely boiling in this car. It's a really warm day and I pulled my car into a little shady spot. I thought it would help me, but it's really hot, so I'm gonna end it and I'm gonna go for my walk now. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you soon. Bye bye.